The price of success. Margaret stood by the roadside looking at the long limousine as it sped away with the one person who she truly loved. His words stung her to her soul. As it echoed in her mind, she remembered the look on his face as he told her in no uncertain words, "You are the one thing standing between me and success." Eric was a shy boy of 6 when he became friends with Margaret. She was on her way to school when she was alerted to sounds coming from a group of boys, about 4 of them, standing around a slim, geeky-looking kid wearing glasses. They were the school's bullies who followed behind their leader, who called himself Tex, a name which he surmised added to his toughness. "Give me your lunch money," Tex demanded, pushing Eric into the other 2 standing behind him, knowing they would push him back towards him. And they continued this, jerking him around until his glasses fell off his face.
"Leave him alone, Tex."
Looking around, Tex sneered, "Make me." Margaret could not remember if it was the look she saw on Eric's face that instantly bought out her protective instinct, but she delivered a punch that knocked Tex flat on his butt, leaving an angry-looking smudge on his jaw.
"You will get yours, Miss Nosy Parker."
And they ran off together, leaving Margaret alone with Eric. She took up his glasses, dusted it off, and gave it back to him.
He said thank you.
Over the years, their friendship grew. Eric surprised Margaret one day by singing her the happy birthday song at her party. Everyone was stunned. This kid had the voice of an angel. Margaret was thrilled. She beamed at him happily and hugged him. She was 16 and he was 15.
I love to sing, but because I get overlooked by everyone, I kept it to myself. But tonight I planned on surprising you. I hope you like it.
From that day on, things started looking up for Eric. News of his angelic voice reached the principal, and he was included in the school choir, requested at church, and paid to sing at other kids' birthday parties. Popularity soon came his way. Even Tex became his bodyguard, and all this was because the governor had requested Eric to sing at the county's fair opening. Margaret soon noticed changes in Eric. He wasn't as attentive to her as before, and when she called, he would say, "I'm busy, I will call you back." He stopped telling her he loved her because Andrea, the most popular girl in school, started paying attention to him because he was noticeably getting more popular each day. Even the local radio station sponsored a singing competition, and Eric won hands down. The winner would get a contract with a top recording producer, tour with a mega artiste, plus prize money, and new outfits for the tour. She watched the car disappear out of sight. Turning, she went inside her house, sobbing. Her dad, who over the years had witnessed their friendship, that grew into a loving relationship, hugged his daughter. Her mom joined in, and they did their best to console her.
"Thank you, guys. I don't know what I would have done without you."
That's what we are here for. And Hoan, her dad, said, "Do not let this diminish your value. You are a wonderful person to us and to him. Maybe one day he will realize his mistake. He's young, give him time. All this is new to him. He needs time to find his footing."
Megastar Eric was all over the telly and on billboards, always with a beautiful girl on his arms at award ceremonies and on social media. His songs and collaboration hit the Billboard Top 5, a string of #1 hits. He became a billionaire, the youngest ever, the tabloids declared. One night, Eric went to bed after a satisfying day at an award function. He got a dream that shattered the world he had created around him to cover the dissatisfaction that kept intruding into his reality. In this dream, he was fighting through a forest covered with a thick fog. Branches kept poking at his eyes, pulling at his clothes. He fought hard to find a clearing to get out of the misery that's surrounding him. Brief glimpses through the fog. He saw a young lady standing with tears in her eyes in the clearing that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't reach. She kept repeating, "How could you? How could you?" That face he remembered, his rescuer, the one person who never cared if he was popular or not, his Margaret.
He jerked from his sleep, calling her name aloud. "Eric! Margaret! Margaret!"
Then he remembered the last hateful thing he said to her, and he cried because his heart was broken. All these industry ladies who told him what he wanted to hear, he never felt any love for them because now he was finally admitting it to himself.
"I've never stopped loving you, Margaret."
He took a break from the high life, telling everyone he needed time to unwind and refresh to revitalize his spirit. Not once did he ever told anyone the real reason behind his taking a leave from the spotlight, and they believed him. He searched for Margaret for months. When he visited her old home, the place was sold, and the couple living there said they had no idea where she and her parents had relocated to. He was celebrated by the town, he shook hands and was polite to everyone, but his restlessness grew. He slipped out alone in disguise because tabloid reporters were keeping track of him. He visited places where they often hung out together. Then he remembered that place he saw in his dream heart racing. He jogged over the old bridge to their hideaway, the clearing, and in the crevice of the tree, right above the carving of their initials, he found a waterproof plastic Ziploc bag. Inside was a letter. The Land Rover raced over the flatlands of the savannah. At the end of the road, Eric saw a 2-story house surrounded by a chain-linked fence. "That's to keep out the wildlife," the driver said. "You cannot be too safe here." He pulled up at the gate. It slid to the side, operated by a motor. The driver drove through and stopped in front of the house. The door opened, and a lady beautifully tanned by the African sun stepped out. Nothing could tame that unruly blonde hair of hers.
Margaret stood there looking at him and him at her. "Eric, I found your letter in our tree. I'm so sorry, Margaret."
He started, but she bowled him over as she jumped into his arms. When they came to, the driver and her parents was grinning from ear to ear, exchanging knowing glances. They re-enter the house, giving the young lovers the privacy they deserved. Remember to subscribe or like, comment, share. We need your feedback. It will be greatly appreciated. Moral of the story: true love will always find a way. Just be true to yourself and those who sacrificed for you to get where you are.